The Lord be with you, and a warm welcome to you from all of us here at Powerscourt with Kilbride. It's Sunday the 29th of June. The school is out for the summer, and because we had such good weather from May on, really, we had that wonderful bout of sunshine in May, I feel as if the summer has been lasting forever. So it's wonderful to think that we have another couple of months here in the summertime to enjoy. You're very welcome to spend this next 15 minutes or so in this little square as we have a look at one of the most important questions for the Catholic Church in particular that Jesus asked St. Peter. This Sunday is St. Peter's Day, a saint's day, and so we remember him in all of his glory. There's something about St. Peter that I really love, and I think most of it is the fact that he is incredibly human, very passionate, very courageous, very open to receiving the Christ. And so we owe him a debt of gratitude, really, for setting that particular path for the church. But a little bit more about that in a short while. For now, let's just pause together wherever we might be in this square and open a pocket of prayer. Now, when Jesus came to the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, but others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, And on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Stepping into the scripture this morning, there have been many times in scripture where we have read these words and Jesus told them not to say anything about it. You know, the healings that he might do, or those he might have healed, he'll say nothing to anybody for the moment. And one train of thought is that he is doing this just to give himself more time to actually do more before he's crowded out with people who are curious about these healings and miracles. But the other side of it is that I think he makes it very clear that we need to discover who he is for ourselves. I remember many years ago now, a colleague of mine went off on an outing with friends of his who had been his friends all his life. And he was in the process of training for ordination. And they questioned him thoroughly about who God is. You know, so you tell us now, who is God and what is God and all that. And I remember him saying to me, Kathy, I actually didn't know what to respond with. I didn't know what to tell them. And having thought for a few minutes about this, I said to him, well, I think that's a perfectly adequate answer and explanation. Because God is experience. You have to experience the divine to know that the divine exists, if that makes sense. God is not so much what we formulate here, but what we experience here in the heart space, because it is in the seat of the soul that the divine touches us. Perhaps it's very fitting, therefore, that in our scripture this morning, Jesus asks the disciples, for want of better words, who does the world say that I am? And if you can imagine, he is asking these two questions to us today in this small square, and those of us who follow him. Who does the world say that I am? And very quickly afterwards, who do you say that I am? And if you were to ask me, the only answer that you would have to that question, besides saying that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, is to look into your own heart and to try and identify the milestones, or there might just be one, in your life where you have been profoundly touched by the Christ. It might be the simplest or the deepest of things. It might be holding a newborn baby. It might be looking at a magnificent view. It might be sitting in the midst of deep despair, crisis, hurt, or grief. But somewhere along the line, you have encountered the Christ, not up here, but in here. And it's the experience of God that transforms us. So, in our weekly fellowship this week, one of our company astutely pointed out that the rock on which the church is built. So those beautiful words we've heard in this scripture, I will call you Peter, the rock on which my church will be built. The Catholic Church celebrates Peter as the first pope. We honour him today on St. Peter's Day for all the good that he has done, for setting us on that right track and path, for being courageous and strong and honest and open enough to the Christ, that he was a phenomenal part at the heart of what was to become the Christian church today. But what was pointed out in fellowship, wisely pointed out, was that the rock wasn't Peter as a person, as a human being. The rock was the revelation that was given to Peter. And a revelation has been given to each one of you who sit in this square today. You have received a revelation of the Christ, from the Christ, through the Spirit. It's quite simple. And when we think of Peter today, when we think of Christ's church, we see that it is made up of people to whom the revelation has been given. It doesn't make us an elite crowd of people. God is so eager to reveal himself to all of humanity. We just have to be open to receive. Pause for a moment today. Allow yourself the luxury of looking back on your journey with God throughout your entire life. If you've a notebook and pen, even better. But either way, within that beautiful sacred space of yours, within your heart space, in the seat of your soul, revisit a moment or an occasion when you were profoundly touched by the presence of the Christ, and when you knew beyond all doubt that revelation of himself to you, that he was exactly who he said he was.